Hello, everybody. Time for another Friday night drills. We are, I feel like, in the home stretch of the pink sunflower. As you can see, I made a little bit of progress with this border. We're going to call it a border, but it's, I guess, the background. So I am very happy. It's all the same color. I don't think I'm going to have any problems mixing up the colors as I have. Here's the thing that I've really loved about this. I do need to do a little bit of straightening up, but you can see here, light colors in backgrounds can be really challenging because it shows the waviness of the lines, things like that. These have been really well spaced, really straight, and that is just not the norm for stuff like this. So very happy. Watch, I'm going to start laying them down and they will not be. But here we are. It's another week. We are in, I cannot believe it, the last week. Well, almost last week. The last full week of March. It's finally spring. Although where I am, it's been ridiculously hot. So it feels like, honestly, the first week of summer. But it's supposed to have cooled off. No more 80 degrees days. That's a good thing. Appreciate that. And I decided, I've got multiple projects going at the same time. Last week, I thought there's got to be a way to capture what this unusual year is. So, let me grab it. Hang on, straighten it. I found a pattern for this temperature cross stitch, and it's the flying geese. It'll be a little blurry because I have my zoom locked in, but this is, I didn't do it great. I was trying to go with a piece I already had, so I removed the extra spaces in between, which I probably didn't need to do because look, even though I had done all sorts of math, I had lots of extra space. And, this is up there with measure twice, cut once. I also didn't realize that they are alternating direction. So it's something to look forward to next year. But I wanted to capture that there are I don't think any of these are in the 30s. It's already so warm, and here are the temperatures that are in the 80s. Already, we are in March. Cannot believe it. So, thought this would be really interesting for this year. Next year, or maybe at the end of the year, hopefully we'll get some of the colder. I'm just afraid I won't have any purples this year, but we'll see. So that's something I wanted, a temperature project. I've been wanting to do one for a few years, but they all felt quite complicated. I just wanted something super simple. The one I have, obviously for cross stitch, and cross stitch conversions can be a little tricky when you have backstitch, which is what the months are. So I'm kind of having to make those up on the fly, but it's okay. My gosh, I'm not selling the thing. It's just for me. It's just for fun. If I don't like it, can't believe I'm saying this, I can just get rid of it. I don't get rid of things. That's gonna bring us on to a topic that I spent some time talking with a friend on. So she's going to do this incredible journey, and to prepare for it, she pretty much needs to get rid of almost everything she owns and get down to only a couple suitcases. And so as we were talking about it, I had said, I don't think that's something I could ever do, because I see people in things. I don't think I got that all the way. And so I really struggle with throwing things away or donating things, unless it is something that is clothing and doesn't fit me. I can do that. If it is a memento, a gift, I really struggle. I used to participate, because I want to say participate because we all held so many different roles. Elementary school musicals, which I see they just wrapped up their next one for the season. And at the end, one of the moms or other people on the directorial team would always, either the kids would make something or there was a gift. It could be a t-shirt they'd all signed, wrote a little thing, and I loved it. I still have all of them, even though it was 10 years ago, 15 maybe, but they all hold meaning to me. So as I was talking to this friend, she was like, I just can't, that's not how she operates. She sees things differently. And it made me wonder if, well, unfortunately, I'm sure that means I have hoarder tendencies, because that's probably how they see things. I know that people who went through the Depression or were very, very poor also have similar tendencies, because you don't know. You don't know if you will have what you need when you need it. And so you just keep them. You keep all of it. My mom talked about using every little bit out of everything, because she grew up in the Depression. And she could turn anything that was used into something that was almost brand new. It was just what you had to do. So it's led to some interesting introspection on my part. I know there are things like Marie Kondo where you find joy, do things spark joy. My problem is everything sparks joy, because again, I associate the thing with the person. So this friend also asked how it is with my kids' school things. She said, oh my gosh, that must just be, do you still have every paper? And I said, I did for years and years. And then, gosh, I think it was right as the digital, I don't want to say right as, but people were offering suggestions. It was probably a parenting magazine, and it was how to manage all of your mementos from your kids. I mean, think about Mother's Day cards and birthday cards and things like that. And one person's suggestion was that they had taken pictures of all of them, because then they were turned into a digital item, which is much easier to store than the physical. So they had, I did something similar, which probably defeated the purpose, but I scanned all the things, and then some of them I put into a photo album, and I gave it to them for Christmas along with a box of all of their things. So I had the digital scans, and I thought, I have the memento part I need. They can decide what they want to keep and what they want to throw. That made that much easier for me, because quite frankly, who doesn't love going through the report cards that you have from whatever year it is? My girls would, things like Christmas Eve, when they would all be staying up late at night, they would bust out all of those things and read them to each other, simply because they were so ridiculous that they got a total kick out of it. And they still do. They have a lot of those little journals and notebooks, and will read them. It's almost a rite of passage. I remember my one daughter reading her stories to her then fiance, and it's just good memories, good times. So I'm trying to figure out the best way. I know when my mom passed, they had moved when in 2019, I think it was October. So they moved cross country. They sold their house. They got rid of a lot of their things. Oh, didn't put that in a good place. Which meant when my mom passed, it wasn't a big having to go through things, which is something I'm afraid I'm leaving for my kids to do. But yeah, it's in the back of my mind now. Trying to be more realistic. But anyway, what do you think about those sorts of things? Do you see people in this stuff, or are you all about, I can't deal with all of it, I just want to get rid of it, have lots of space? I'm sure people who come in my house feel it's super cluttered, and yep, they would be right. I have a lot of things. I don't know if that carried over. Now, in all honesty, I also have a pretty dang small house. So I don't have a whole lot of storage. If I did, but anyway, that's an excuse. I'm not going to make an excuse for it. But anyway, what do you think about all of it? Which side do you fall on? If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to. But I'm just really curious if that's common or not. Now, who knows? I hope I don't show up on a TV show. And if I do, then I guess I know where I stand on all of it. That probably answers that question. Okay, this is exciting. Actually coming to the edge. And again, it's pretty good. There's some areas in here that have some gapping, but again, it's really, really good. I'm sitting here looking at this, wondering if this right here is the right color. I do see some darker ones throughout, so I'm not going to worry about it. Not every flower is perfect and symmetrical, but okay, other things going on. So I went and saw our local theater's production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and it's a story in our family that goes back many years. It was my son's favorite Disney musical, animated, and it's definitely a challenging storyline. It's intense. It is not your average Disney story, although when you read the original Grimm's, a lot of those end differently. They don't have the storybook ending. But this one is intense. So we have been trying to see it for years and years and years. And we finally, I purchased tickets to drive to Tuacahn, which is in St. George, because they were putting it on as part of their summer package. Gosh, 7, 10, 15, I don't even know how many years ago. Very excited. Tuacahn is not something I had taken my kids to before. I had only just seen it. For those not familiar, it is, again, St. George, which is southern Utah. And in the summer, when the sun goes down, because it's an outdoor theater, it is, and the show is over. So it's probably 12:30. It's still over 100 degrees easy. It's in a canyon. So it's red rock, stunning. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. But it's an outdoor oven. It keeps in all the heat. So they can have an extended season because it's 100 degrees down there until October. At least. It might still even be, actually. It may have hit, I don't know if it hit 100, but I know it was in the 90s last week because we were in the mid 80s. So already hot. So I was very excited, got tickets for everybody to go see this. We get there, and reminder, we are in the desert, and there was the biggest, scariest storm I'd ever been in. It was lightning. Like when we brought up the weather app, I have never been in a purple zone before. It was purple. They had to get all of us, because we, again, are in this big open outdoor theater. They had to try to get us all sheltered. So my husband had stayed in the hotel because he's not a theater guy at all, does not interest him. And he was watching because, I mean, he's in the hotel and it's non-stop flashes of lightning. And so I let him know. They ended up canceling the show because it was not just a rain delay. This was going to go on, and for safety purposes, they had to get us all out of there. So he was very sweet by the time we got back to the hotel, because of course everybody is leaving at once, and so parking lot was a true parking lot. I gotta put some more in here. Hang on. He had rented, I think this was back in the day, well, you can still do it. I believe he had rented on Amazon the Disney version. And so we watched in the hotel. Very sweet, but it still meant we'd never seen the stage production. So many years later, we got to go. And that was earlier in the week. I have to tell you, with having a new grandbaby and all the emotions of that and what is going on right now in the world, no matter where you are, there's just some hard stuff going on. I sobbed through the opening number. It was beautiful. The voices, the costuming. This is a theater in the round. And so you're almost immersed in this. I also, we go to this theater pretty regularly. It's so impressive how they drop the sets and scenery from the ceiling, essentially coming down. Well, there is a song called Hellfire, and it is where the character Frollo is, well, he is tormented by his lust for Esmeralda, and he's essentially beating himself up for it. So, because of how, I don't know, is this a spoiler? Okay, I will be very mindful. I don't think I have anybody who watches or listens to my channel, because there's only a few people. And I don't know if the crossover is enough that, first of all, you're in my area. Second of all, that you're going to go see this. And finally, yeah. So, but I will still be very mindful. There is how they have chosen to perform this was the greatest thing I have ever seen on stage. I've seen quite a bit of stuff on stage. I have never seen anything like this, and it was so impressive that when this number finished, the audience completely erupted. I'm shocked that was not intermission, but of course there was the male trio that still had to perform. But the cheering went on and on and on for this number. It was awe-inspiring. I cannot get it out of my head. I came home. I did a little more research into it. One of the things we're going to be seeing coming up is the show Hadestown. Again, another total favorite. And so I'm familiar with the Broadway cast. I love Patrick Page. Come to find out, had no clue that he played the role of Frollo, who is this main character. He originated the role on Broadway. He didn't in the Disney animated version, but he did for the Broadway show. And he is also Hades, originated the role of Hades on Broadway for Hadestown. His voice is this spectacular bass. And so I was driving home, put it on my stereo, car stereo, and I was like, obvious casting, could not be anybody else, but it made me love it even more. So there were a few things we saw in it that I was like, I realize it has been a while since I've watched the Disney animated version, but I don't remember some of the scenes that were very spicy. And the people I was with were looking at each other and like, do you remember this? Because if this was in the, I keep wanting to say Disney version, they're both the Disney version, just one is a stage production and one is animated, but they're still Disney. I was like, I think I'm an awful mom if I let my kids watch this. It's already super intense subject matter. But yeah, there were a few additions to the whole production that came to find out, no, were not in the original. So I didn't feel quite as just like, oh, sorry, that must have gone right over my head. Hopefully it really went over my kids' heads. But yeah, it was an incredible show. So trying to decide, these shows they are expensive. They're actually, this Hale Theater is more expensive than the touring Broadway shows that we see. I can appreciate it. It is a significantly smaller theater, so you don't have 3 tiers of audience. You have, let's see, I think it's 14 rows, 4 sections. It's not a huge crowd. So I understand, and theater is expensive. But I'm really impressed with what they can do. So I think I might actually be out of wax in that. I'll have to reload. This is another of the Diamond Art twist and pick pens. So anyway, gosh, I apparently spoke about all that and didn't get to the other things, but we made progress, and it's still, I'm impressed. There's a couple things here I gotta straighten up, but it still looks pretty dang good for a light background. So yeah, tell me all about your week. Tell me how things went. What's the weather like where you are? Do you see faces in things? Do you connect things to people, memories? Or are you a, nope, it just takes up space, I have the memories in my head sort of thing? How do you feel about all that? What's your stand? And then, have you seen any shows that were transformative, that you connect incredible family memories? And if so, feel free, share. I'm always loving stories about that. I hope you have a great week. I'm looking forward to the good week we're all going to have ahead of us, and the maybe challenging things that we can put behind us. Until next time, see you later. Bye.